von List to all the Wahrheit personnel. We have lost contact with our unit in the Egyptian desert. It appears something went wrong when they set off demolition charges in the chamber where we found the Scepter of Cortifex. This mission was to prevent Professor Kraft and his allies from discovering the circumstances of Cortifex's imprisonment in that temple. Instead, upon detonation, every radio at the site went dark, including those in vehicles well outside the blast radius. This was 36 hours ago. Since the task force is yet to make contact, all are presumed dead. Kraft and his soldiers were still trapped in Stalingrad as this incident unfolded. This raises the possibility that someone else is now working to subvert the Wahrheit's mission. We are working to ascertain what really transpired at our desert operations site. Until then, remain vigilant.
Kraft, memoir entry number 8. Once we arrived in Stalingrad, von List locked me in my office, along with most of the notes and relics we brought with us. He was busy securing the area and exhuming mass graves. I was instructed to study the Tome of Rituals for anything that could boost Cortifex's power, and therefore von List's. The other artifacts were locked in a trunk. Cortifex told von List to destroy them, but the Oberfuhrer balked, thinking we could draw on their power too. So, I picked the lock, something Sasha once taught me, and laid hands on the mask of Bellicar. The initial shock nearly killed me. My heart seized up, I fell and hit my head. When I awoke, I was no longer alone. Bellicar was in my head, ancient and wise. We got along immediately, but I was clearly an unsuitable host for such a being. I touched the mask again, so she could withdraw. But in that brief time, we had established a connection and begun to formulate a plan. I used the radio von List left me to send a distress call. We needed the right kind of hosts, allied soldiers committed to vanquishing the Nazis. Professor Gabriel Kraft, entry 9. During our journey to Stalingrad, one particular concern hung over me. If, as I suspected, von List's mission was not authorized, the Nazi High Command might brand us deserters. If so, any prisoners kept by the Wahrheit would likely be transferred to the camps or simply executed. I was frightened of the strange new light in von List's eyes. But for the sake of my Sasha, I kept demanding to know what would happen to my spouse. Of course, he did not want to hear it. But Sasha was how he maintained leverage over me, and he still needed my expertise. When the last of our Wahrheit unit arrived in Stalingrad, they brought with them a letter from Sasha. Von List had requested it to shut me up. It was the glimmer of hope I needed. It was carefully worded. There was little warmth, no in-jokes or personal references. But Sasha was alive and relatively safe. That was all I needed to continue my work. Quite a change, is it not? To trade the numbing cold of Stalingrad for the blistering heat of the desert. Well, at least Cortifex's barrier spell no longer hems you in. And you know whom we have to thank for our new area of operations. Verkana the Last, elemental nature spirit of the dark ether dimension. She showed us the way here. When we first began sending messages to the dark ether, we were unsure who would receive them. But Bellica hoped it would be a certain someone with whom she once joined forces before.
So much strength!
We are fortunate indeed Vakana answered the call. She certainly has reason enough to oppose Cortifex. But that story is hers to tell. What is increasingly clear is that we shall need even more help from the other side to succeed against Von List. We have your new friend, the Decimator, and even a beachhead, so to speak, in the dark ether itself. We are closer than ever to denying Von List his otherworldly power. Let us stay on mission and committed to victory. Craft to Special Forces. I am concerned that the encroachment of dark ether elements into our world appears to be accelerating. The most obvious example is Zabala, the Deceiver, the assassin Cortifex recently summoned.
They cannot be allowed to live!
There are others. For example, the augmenter worms that strengthen Cortifex by corrupting our world. Thank goodness their control runes give away their position. And then there is the void spell with its energy anchors. Such powerful forms of rune magic were not possible when Von List first joined with Cortifex. Simply put,
My mistake for letting
our
you so
enemies
close.
are growing stronger. You can see it in the landscape all around you. Dark ether crystals
Your attack was a
are
cry for
spreading
help.
throughout the land.
That was so
We may be making progress in our mission, but so are they. We must redouble our efforts if we are to stop Devarheit before it is too late.
Hail, warriors! The Decimator salutes you! I am grateful to once again see battle, but there are things we must discuss. I refer to the blood rituals you've witnessed. You know what I mean. Those sacrificial siphon cores the revenants gather round as their very essence is drawn from them. Long has it been since blood magic was in use. How I prayed I would never see those siphon cores again. If Cortifex is using them now, it means he grows desperate. But a foe is never more dangerous than when their back is to the wall. The siphon cores were created to amplify his power. You've seen it done, yes? Revenants give their lifeblood to charge one up. Then a rift opens, a hellmouth from which spews even more enemies. Work swiftly to prevent their sacrifice. Deny those ancient stones their chance to drink their fill. Remember, if they succeed in opening rifts, the fault is no one's but your own.
Cortifex, kindly tell your lackey not to crowd me. It is distracting.
Tell me yourself, Red Blood. No need to trouble my lord if I intimidate you. And it's not you I am drawn to. It is he who resides in your unworthy flesh.
Zapala, keep a civil tongue. You are here to help him as much as to help me.
Precisely. Though there is something else troubling me. Why does she look so much like that mad demon helping the enemy?
Syraxis? What do you expect? She's my sister.
I beg your pardon?
She refers to the Sisters of Agony. There are always 5 of them. Should one fall, I choose a replacement from the Dark Aether clans and alter her to match the others.
I see. You do that if one falls, but not if one betrays you?
That human scholar betrayed you, Wolfram. We all have our disappointments.
Don't Don't worry, Wolfie. She'll be dead soon. And then you'll only have my pretty faces to worry about. And then you'll...
Oberführer Wolfram von List to all troops of Kampfgruppe Die Wahrheit. By now, many of you have seen our new ally from the Dark Aether supporting field operations. Her name is Sabala the Deceiver. She is one of a team of elite assassins, handpicked by Cortifex thousands of years ago. She brings to us a variety of abilities. They should prove instrumental in eradicating the soldiers working with Professor Kraft. These include her Dark Aether energy strikes, and her ability to create duplicates of herself. Her long history with the Dark Aether entities assisting Kraft means she knows their secrets, their tactics. She can get under their skin in ways we cannot. In short,
stay out of my way. I'll kill your enemies if it pleases Lord Cortifex. But I don't much care which uniform you Redbloods wear.
Cortifex, keep your pet on a shorter leash while I am addressing my men.
Shorter leash? We Sisters of Agony operate just as our Creator intended. Whatever I do, assume it is sanctioned by my Lord, and be thankful we're on your side.
Well, my allies, we finally made it. Thanks to our new friend Verkana, you have escaped the containment spell Cortifex erected around Stalingrad. Of course, this deep in the Egyptian desert, they have no radio contact with Allied forces. We must still fight von List, on our own. But our odds have improved. I believe we are close to finding a means of separating von List from Cortifex, denying the Wahrheit the means to raise their undead army. You see, this is the site where they found the scepter of Cortifex, and it appears to hold continued significance to von List's plans. That oasis and the small settlement around it has traded hands between Allied and Axis forces. But the true battle begins now, with us. Belikar and I have been discussing that Tome of Rituals page you saw at Shinonuma. Secured by the Void spell and its energy anchors, we believe it details how demonic artifacts work, how they maintain the symbiosis between a human and a Dark Aether entity, and quite possibly how to sever that bond. Just imagine, cutting the cord between Cortifex and von List. That, my friends, is now our mission. The tome page just might put an end to this entire unholy affair.
Kraft and his troublemakers have a new ally. Tell me, Cortifex, what exactly are we up against?
Her name is Verkana. Verkana the Last.
Not a very flattering title.
She is the last of her clan. I saw to that.
And what did her clan do to deserve that fate?
They told me to stop my armies from raising their precious wilds. No one tells me what to do.
And these Dark Aether clans, is this why you all look so different?
Indeed. Some, like Invictors, formed the backbone of my armies. Some, like Belikars, focused on studies and rune magic. Verkana's people were hermits. They dwelt in the wilds, communing with their so-called web of life.
And when they asked you to honor their home, they discovered you are not a nature lover. So, why is this Verkana still alive? Why did you not finish the job?
At the time, we did not understand how their cursed life web worked, how it linked them together. When one died, their life energy passed to the others. The power of an entire clan now resides in Verkana. She may be impossible to kill.
Well, if there is a way, we damn well better find it. This is Oberfuhrer Wolfram von List to all troops of Kampfgruppe die Wahrheit. The Allied soldiers gathered by the traitor Kraft have escaped Cortifex's containment spell. We think they may be at our remote operations post in Egypt, but are unable to confirm this as we lost contact with our personnel on site. I have also reason to believe they have been joined by another of Cortifex's foes from the Dark Aether. Her name is Verkana. She possesses healing powers that can make the Allied Shriner particularly hard to kill. I should like to get a better sense of what this Verkana brings to the battle. But if nothing else, I want to know what happened at the Egypt site, and if they had anything to do with it. Should this be the case, it is only one of many reasons I want them exterminated. Their trespass and interference must not be allowed to continue.